focused on something, then you can take things into your own control. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not easy. Expect pain, expect anxiety, expect everything to go wrong, and just be cool. Breathe easy, and then just see it out. It's never where you want it to happen, ever. And if it does, do not trust it. It's the devil. don't believe I should have to be nice to get somebody to give me something. If my product is good, no matter how I act, you will pay for it.
Yo, 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 yo. What up? It's your boy, Broadway Jerome, back with another episode of Seen Yo Lil Podcast. Man, I was trying to do a little quick research for this topic that I added on at the last minute. I was seeing it on Facebook. But the crazy part about it is when I Google it, I don't see it at all. Right? And I'll try to look it up. I don't see it at all. The only place that I am seeing it is on Facebook. And then now I can't find it. I should have saved it. I know who posted it though, so I can slide right back to it. But while I'm looking for that, let me start out by saying congratulations to the Chicago Sky. Congratulations to Candace Parker. I ain't gonna lie, I think it's pretty cool that she was able to come back to Chicago, her hometown, even though I heard she was from Oak Park, but that's neither here nor there. Come back to the crib and get a championship. Basically, she pulled a LeBron, right? Come back to the crib and get a championship, man. So that's pretty cool in itself. Give the people of Chicago something to celebrate. But I'm still waiting for my girl Maya Moore to come back. Come on back, Maya. You done got married now. You got your boy out of jail. You did all the stuff you want to do. I need you to come on back to the game now. Oh, you know what? I think I know why I can't find it. I'm on the wrong phone. What else was in the news? The Bears lost again to the Packers. What else is new? I think they said something like Aaron Rodgers is like 22-5 against the Bears all time. So he basically just be putting the bats to the Bears whenever he want to. I really think that's about all I had as far as what's been going on out here that I wanted to talk about besides the topics. So since I'm just not starting out on the show, I don't have a set cast or members that's going to be on the show with me every week. So sometimes I don't know if anybody going to come or not. You know what I'm saying? But it's probably going to go the way it usually go when I'm doing things, which is I end up doing it by myself until it get popping and then people come along. And that's cool. But what I'm about to do right now is I'm about to find this page or this article. As a matter of fact, it wasn't an article because the girl posted this herself, right? She posted this this post on Facebook, and then it got put in a group that I'm in, and they saying that this girl is 18 years old with 4 kids. Now, I'm trying to figure this out myself, right? How do you get to be 18 with 4 kids? I don't get that. I don't get that at all. But apparently it's true because I've seen it in a couple of places. Now here's one post about it. And the post says, be careful who you have around your kids. They might get married. And so on the left-hand side, it's a picture of the guy, and he's holding a baby girl. Look like she can't be no more than 1 or 2 years old. And then on the right-hand side, it's a picture from their wedding. So basically, I'm guessing this is supposed to be the little girl in the picture, and now she's an 18-year-old with 4 kids. Right? Okay. So then here's a picture of the post that the guy made, I guess. Yeah, this is the guy. And it says, here's some pictures of my big day, and I appreciate all the support. And it's the picture of the guy and the girl and them standing by the altar. And I think this is them cutting the cake. And oh man, listen. So of course, the big talk about this is that because this girl is so young, he must have been grooming her, right? Ain't no telling when he started talking to her and when he started this and that and blah 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 blah. I'm not finna talk about that. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I'm not going to talk about that. Even if my other guests were here, I wouldn't want to talk about that part of it. I would let them talk about it if they wanted to, because I don't know none of that. You can say that that's the girl in the picture with him when she was a little kid, and now here she is at 18 getting married. Okay. But I don't know enough of the story, and I'm not finna sit up here and just try to say anything about this cat that I don't know to be true. I don't want to do that. But what I do want to talk about is what I do know is true, or at least according to what's being advertised, which is she's 18 with 4 kids. I'm just saying, like, first of all, how does that even happen? How do you get to be 18 with 4 kids? Right? I mean, my mom was 17 when she had me. I don't know. I don't know how old she was when she first started having kids. I don't know if the kids. I seen a picture of them. Oh, okay, here it is, right here. This is the picture I seen. So it's a baby, and then it's a little boy and a little girl that's around the same size, and then it's another little girl that's bigger than them behind them. So she just recently had a baby, 2 more kids. I mean, I'm guessing if she started at 15, them 2 kids in the middle look like they around the same age. Maybe they twins. I don't know. But I know all of the talk right now is all about the fact that this dude is supposed to be 46 years old, I'm guessing. And she's 18. And so they doing all the, oh my God, he groomed her talk. But my thing is this. She's 18 with 4 kids. This ain't no little girl. This ain't no little girl. I'm looking at these middle kids. And see, it's like the older I get, the harder it is for me to like judge how old people are or whatever. Even kids, sometimes it's hard for me to like really tell. But if I'm looking at these little kids right here, I'm a roll with the baby is probably 1. It's even in a wagon, which means probably not walking. The 2 little kids right there, maybe 5, and then the other one maybe 7, looking like. I gotta be wrong about that though, right? There's no way that this 18-year-old has a 7-year-old, right? So it's like I can't be right about that. I don't know. Maybe they 4 and the other one is 5. And that's what 5 is what 13. I mean, 13 makes more sense than 11. But even at 5, so let's just say the oldest one is 5. If she had that baby when she was 13, she ain't no little kid no more. She been somebody's mother for 5 years. This ain't no little kid no more, right? For one. For two, not only does she have the one kid, she has 3 more. She has 4 kids that she has to be responsible for, right? Which means she can't make decisions like the average 18-year-old girl, right? What 20-year-old is about to get with this girl with 4 kids that's not going to get with her and make another baby and run away? What 25-year-old, what 30-year-old is about to get with this girl that's 18 with 4 kids? I don't see it happening, right? So she got with a guy that's 46, I think 46 or 47. She gets with that guy, and then he's not just 46, but apparently he's in a position to provide, right? Again, like I said, I'm not about to discuss it from his point of view. I don't even want to discuss it from his point of view because I don't know enough. All you can do is speculate and make accusations at this point. But if it's true that he is a friend of the family, he been knowing and been around since the girl was a baby, right? So then let's look at it like this. She's probably more comfortable with him as it is. More comfortable with him than a stranger because she been around. I mean, she married the man. She's 18 with 4 kids. And the way this story is being told, I'm assuming neither one of these kids are his, man. So again, it's like everybody just wants to be able to say the bad stuff or the negative stuff, right? So nobody's really looking at it from her perspective, because if you look at it from her perspective, then she's the woman, she's 18, she got 4 kids, then everybody automatically looks at her like a victim. Instead of looking at it like she made a decision for herself and for her children. Let me go ahead and get with somebody that's going to provide, for me and my kids, that I'm familiar with, I trust, and whatever. All that extra stuff that everybody else want to put on there, like I said, I don't even want to deal with that. I'm just looking at it from her perspective. And I'm also looking at it like, what options did she really have? Right? This is part of the thing that Kevin Samuels talks about, as far as women not being in a space of privilege, or not being the ones who have all of the options or have the leverage, right? She's 18, let alone 25, let alone 30, let alone 40. She's 18 with 4 kids. That's a tough sell. How do you sell that to somebody? Especially if she should stay around her age demographic. Them kids, that guy's probably looking at that situation like, I can't even have my own kids. I mean, the numbers speaks for themselves. The average men out here are not six-figure guys. Median income for black men, 42,000. Median income for white men, 52,000. Median income for Hispanic men, a few dollars less than black men. So she can't get with nobody young. She has to get with somebody older. Somebody that's already making enough money to be able to provide for her and for children. Especially if she not gonna be working. And right now they got a baby, a non-walking baby. So I mean, I don't know, man. I know the optics look bad. I get that. But I'm trying to be able to I'm trying to be able to look at things from a different point of view. Like, I don't know, it's just if you just look at it from the guy's point of view, then it's gonna look bad. And everybody's just gonna be able to say all of the nasty negative things and they want to put the R. Kelly spin on it. Man, look, if those ain't his kids, which according to the story that I read, they not. That means this girl at 18 has 4 children by I don't know how many other men. She ain't no kid, man. That means this man ain't had to do no grooming. What grooming would he have had to done if she has 4 children by other men? Now, again, like I said, that's me looking at the story as it's being presented and saying these aren't his children. I can't. Yeah, as far as I can see, these ain't his kids. I don't know, man. I mean, that's a tough sell. And I love my daughter, right? My daughter was 18 and had 4 kids. By however many guys, 1 guy, 2 guys, 3 guys, 4 guys, it really don't even matter. You 18 with 4 children. I don't even know how I could address that without saying, look, you're gonna have to settle a little bit. You know, you probably gonna have to get a guy that's not that attractive. You probably gonna have to get a guy that's older. You know, he ain't gonna have swag and game and be fly and all this other stuff you want. You're gonna have to get somebody that's, you know, I don't know, I don't want to say it like that. Just saying, it ain't gonna be cute, right? If it was a friend of the family, yes, that would bother me a little bit. I ain't gonna front. Maybe a lot of bit. And I know that ain't really no word or no phrase, but maybe it'll bother me a lot of bit. But what I'm saying is this. It ain't my situation, so I can look at it more rationally. And I can say, man, look, this girl, she ain't got a million choices. You know what I'm saying? She don't have a million choices. And this is probably the best one for her. Even if this guy was a friend of the family or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's probably not gonna get no better for her than this. You know, and it ain't like she ugly or nothing, but still in all, 18. At 18, you're supposed to be able to pick up and just go where you want to go whenever you want to go. Right? She can't even do that now. It's over with. You know? Now, the one benefit is her baby child will turn 18 and she'll only be 36. So that's another positive spin to put on that is that, I mean, you're never done being a parent, right? But hey, all her kids will be grown at 36. So, it's not like she'll still be raising per se children uh into her 40s and 50s. She basically be, if it's done right, she can have that 18-year-old out of the house, off to college and whatever else. You know what I'm saying? Military, whatever they're gonna do. And matter of fact, I think that's a little girl, but women going to the military too. So yeah, off to college and the military, whatever, at 18, she'll only be 36. So, you know, 36, kids grown. Hey, you're still young and got plenty of time to travel and see the world and do all these other things. However, the man you marrying, let's say he's 46, because I think that's what I saw. 18 years from now, he'll be 64, right? So he'll be 64 and she'll be 36. That's probably not going to be a good look for him. 36, kids gone, grown out the house. That's not going to be a good look for him. He definitely going to get left for sure. She's definitely going to leave him. Ain't no way around that. So, I mean, maybe, she'll stick around. I don't know. But from what we can see today with divorce rates and all this and that, and women want to live their best life, and it ain't looking too good for him. She gonna get the security she need from him for the next 18 years, and then he gonna end up alone if he can't find somebody else after she eventually does leave. So I don't know. That's a tough one, man. That is real, real tough. When I first saw that, I was like, man, stop playing. And then, okay, so then I just came across this other one. It says Florida man is going viral for marrying his goddaughter as soon as she graduated and turned 18. So it was his goddaughter, according to this. Oh God. I mean, again, she had 4 kids, man. Like, what is it that y'all expected her to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody wants to focus on the guy, right? At 18, she's legal. And I know they've taken this whole grooming term or whatever. But again, if those ain't his kids, he ain't been grooming her. Somebody else was grooming her. But this is part of the reason why I even want to do a podcast, bro. Because I want to be able to talk and I want to be able to tell the truth. I want to be able to speak sincerely, and I don't want to have to sugarcoat stuff. And I don't want to have to lie. Lying takes something out of me. Most people can't believe you when you say this, but it just does. When I feel like I have to lie, I hate it. It depresses me a little bit. I don't want to have to lie to nobody, right? I used to say, only people I lie to is my mama and the police, and I stopped lying to my mama when I was 24. So I was getting into too much. I had to tell her the truth. She was the only person I could give the truth to. And the police, of course, well, I was in the streets and I was doing all type of other goofy stuff, getting myself in trouble, driving with no license, no insurance, all type of stuff, warrants and all that. So of course I was lying to them. But everybody else got the truth, the raw truth, because I ain't scared of you. I'm only lying to you if I'm afraid of the consequences of lying to you. So if I'm not afraid of nothing that you're going to do, what's the point in me lying? I don't have a reason to lie to you. I might as well just be completely honest with you, because it's gonna be whatever it's gonna be after that, right? So, but that's why I wanted to do a podcast, because I want to be able to talk. I want to be able to tell the truth. I want to be able to speak on things from a rational point of view, a logical point of view. You know what I'm saying? But also a masculine, emotional point of view, right? So even when I look at this situation and all of the negative stuff that people are saying about the guy, you don't know that any of that is true. Yes, the optics look bad because this is, according to that post, this man's goddaughter. At minimum, a friend of the family. It looks bad. The optics do. But you don't know any of that other stuff. What you do know is that this girl got 4 kids that apparently aren't his. So where does the grooming come in at? who was really grooming her? Because it wasn't him, apparently, right? So once you take that aspect out of it, you should be happy that this 18-year-old with 4 kids was able to get somebody that was going to take her in and her children and provide for them. Maybe she don't got to depend on the system in no type of way. Maybe he can create or bring them into a stable environment that she can focus on school and educating herself in some sort of way that will help her develop uh and be able to continue actually to develop from 18 to 22, from 22 to 25, from 25 to 28. Y'all know these steps. Anybody that's watching this, if you at 30, you know how you go through these changes. It's like it's different from 18 to 22. You whatever you was feeling and thinking at 18, it changes somehow at 22. And the same thing happens at 25. And the same thing happens at 28. And I think it's because when you 18, you just got out of high school. When you 22, you were supposed to be graduating from college. When you're 25, that's just like the golden age. It's like 25, 50, 75. You know what I'm saying? Those are like just golden ages, right? 25, you really be like, man, I'm really grown. And you start really looking at, man, am I where I thought I was gonna be at 25, right? Then when you get to 28, it's like you have another season of introspection. Why? Because man, I'm almost 30. So now you like, oh man, did I do, what did I mess up at? Did I go wrong? Did I waste time? You really looking at things because you like, man, I'm about to be 30, bro. And then when you hit 30, that's just a whole nother ball game. It kind of like go through the same steps, you know what I'm saying? 30 to 33, 33 to 35, 35 to 38. And it's just another introspective process, right? Um, but this girl is 18, man. And if this man is in a position to take care of them and provide for them in a way a mother of 4 would really need, where she can focus on going to school or getting some sort of not the degree, but when you go like to pharmacy tech or surgical tech or any of that stuff, if she go get some sort of what is it called when you go through the little programs to become electricians and engineers and plumbers and all of that stuff, like this man might be able to set her up in a way where she won't lose all of her teens and beginning 20s to just being overwhelmed with being a mom, especially a mom of 4. So all I'm saying is, man, we as black people, bro, like honestly, man, It pains me to say this, but we are terrible, bro. They got us, man. They did us in. Honestly, bro. They did us in, man. The way we are, the way we treat our own people, you know what I'm saying? I mean, 80% of us, we celebrate the winners, and there's 20% that hate. But then as soon as that same person show any sort of blemish or fallibility, we come down on them like a ton of bricks. We forget all those things that we liked about them. We just want to pile on. We always want to see the worst in everybody and the worst in everything. I mean, I used to be like that too, where I saw the worst in everything, but I've never really been the type of person where I saw the worst in people. Now, if all you showed me was your worst behaviors, if 80% of my interactions with you were your worst behaviors, then yeah, that's probably what I would focus on. But I'm just saying, in general, I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt. And that's the same thing I'm doing in this case with this guy. I'm saying, man, look, the dude is 46. And let's just be honest, he ain't no looker, right? And I'm a straight man, but I know when somebody is attractive and when they not, regardless of what their gender is. He ain't that, right? It's probably not even as deep as everybody wants to make it. We want to make it seem like we're not supposed to notice that a female is attractive until she's 18. Like, cut it out, bro. Like, come on. Most of us was having sex in our teens. You know what that means? That means even as teenagers, we found people attractive. We were aware of what attraction is. We were aware of what looked good and what didn't look good, subjectively or objectively. So that does not change just because I'm 21 or 25 or 30 or 70. There are some girls that are 15 that are built like grown women. If you put them in a bathing suit or some nice stuff and didn't show their face, and people would be looking, oh man, oh man. And then if you show their face with a bunch of makeup, people still will be looking, oh man, oh man. And then as soon as you say, that person is 15, everybody, oh man, they're covering their eyes now. Oh, I can't look. Oh man, my eyes, I'm going to hell. I mean, not really. It is what it is. We know better. You know better. You do better. As old as I am, I don't have nothing in common with a girl that young. We can't even have conversations. But I'm not finna sit up here and pretend like a nice body ain't a nice body. A nice body is a nice body. It's just that. It's a body. It don't just who it. I mean, besides my daughter and my mama, a nice body is a nice body. So my point is you don't turn off your intelligence based on the fact that you older. Your mind don't stop working because you've gotten older. A good looking woman is a good looking woman. If you tell me it's okay to date an 18-year-old because they're grown, the day before they turned 18, they were 17 and they looked exactly the same way that they did when they turned 18. So that don't change anything. Looks don't change anything. The only thing that's the difference is your own internal morality, where you say, I will or I won't do something, right? Now, if you put me in this situation, not at all do I want to marry, deal with, be involved with an 18-year-old. I ain't got no time for an 18-year-old. Really, My motto is if she ain't got stretch marks, cellulite, and baby mama arms, I don't even want to talk to her. I like grown women. I always have since I was young. When I was 16, I was dating 24-year-olds. I always liked women in their 30s. It's something about women in their 30s, bro. They're just like they're more seasoned. You know what I'm saying? They know more. They're more aware of their surroundings and what's going on in the world. It might not seem like it on social media, but in personal interactions with people, particularly when you like each other and you're not being judgmental behind typing texts and stuff. Yeah, people seeing women when they're in their 30s are the bomb. I mean, to me, they always have been. Late 20s, early to mid 30s. I say 28 to about 28 to 38. 28 to 38. Some of the most, oh man, huggable. Like you want to listen to them talk. You know, they got some college under their belt and they did some Black history studies. You can have a conversation about that. They know how the world works. They know what's going on. They know all men ain't just dogs. You know, they know they've done some introspection. They know that they cause some of the problems in their relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different. So no, you couldn't put me in this situation because I don't have. There's nothing I want to do with an 18-year-old besides let her watch my podcast, and hopefully she learns something from it, right? But at the same time, from a distance, on the outside looking in, 18 with 4 kids, it's hard for me not to be happy that she got somebody. It's hard for me not to be happy that these kids will have a father figure in the household. They're being a two-parent household. It's hard for me to not be happy about that. And then I know somebody gonna say, "Well, what if he end up leaving her and marrying one of the little?" And it's like that. I don't even want to think about that. I don't want to think about that. I don't want to talk about that part. It's like, uh, he was a family friend, right? It wasn't like he was the girl's mama's boyfriend or husband and then left her mama to be with her. It wasn't that. So there's no reason for me to think that he'll leave this girl for one of her kids. That's like all of that. That's why I said I don't even want to talk about that side of it. I'm just looking at it from the perspective of man, two-parent household, stability, uh, familiarity. You know what I'm saying? So there should be some comfortableness there. And this girl at 18 with 4 kids will still have an opportunity, man, to build herself up, to build some character. So that when she does hit 28 and she does hit 30 and she does hit 36, man, listen, she's gonna be she's gonna have a testimony for somebody else coming up, man, and somebody else going through something. She's gonna have a testimony that's gonna help somebody else out, bro. And that's just the way I try to look at things, man. You know, not all the time. Some stuff is just sucker stuff. It just, it is what it is. You can't really get around it, right? I can point at some things and be like, nah, I don't like that, or no, F that person, or whatever, too. But, you know, this situation ain't normal, man. It's just, I've never heard nothing like this before. Starting with being 18 with 4 kids. Never heard nothing like that, ever. You know, and that's a crazy situation to be in at 18 with 4 kids. Um, I think I seen one comment where somebody said, "Man, where's her daddy at or her uncles at and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Um, who knows, man? Who knows? Right? But they wasn't alone at the wedding. It was people that with them. You know what I mean? So somebody else is seeing this the way that I'm trying to see it, which is, man, look, they doing what's best for them, man. We all could sit back and look at stuff sometimes and be like, I don't know about that. But bro, we not in everybody else's situations. That's why I can't stand it if I'm going through something and I tell somebody about it and then they try to tell me, well, man, look at such and such situation. I'd be like, bruh, I don't need to look at nobody else's situation. I'm going through what I'm going through. And I want to be able to think about that and deal with that, right? I don't want to look at somebody else's situation and feel better about mine because somebody else is doing worse. At least not somebody else to tell me that. Now, I will say sometimes I could be going through something and then I could see somebody else that's going through something and they will give me that introspection where I'll be like, man, I feel bad for that person, right? And then for a minute, I stop thinking about what I'm going through and I start thinking about that person and offer them some prayer, offer them some words of encouragement. And then I don't feel as bad about what I'm going through, but I still got to deal with what I'm going through. But I'm not feeling better about my situation because somebody else got it worse. So I hate when people say that. I try to put myself in people's shoes to see where they coming from. And so in this situation, I put myself in their shoes and I said to myself, hey, she's 18 with 4 kids. She need a man, right? That can take care of her. So she gonna need an older man anyway. And that's exactly what she got. He just so happened to be a friend of the family. Or as they saying it, Godfather. I mean, nowadays, you don't know what to believe. But it's obvious that the story ain't all the way false. So whether he was her godfather or whether he was just a friend of the family, the fact of the matter still remains that he been around this girl for a long time. And so, like I said, he could have even been looking at it like, man, this messed up. Ain't nobody gonna take care of her. You know what? I'm gonna take care of you. And I'm gonna take care of the kids. And I'm gonna put you on all my insurances. And I'm gonna put you on my life insurance and all this. I'm gonna make sure you straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna step up to the plate. Like nobody wants to look at it like that. We just always want to go and say, "Oh, the man's freak nasty." Like she got 4 kids by other dudes, so he wasn't grooming her. People just need to stop doing that, man. Sometimes we need to look at people and just say, "Man, they doing what they got to do for them." Especially when ain't nobody getting hurt in the situation. Nobody getting hurt in this situation. It's nobody being hurt. If anything, it's 4, matter of fact, 5 individuals being protected. You know what I'm saying? Guarded. A safe space being created for them to develop in a righteous way versus all this toxicity that we deal with on a normal basis with people who sit back and try to judge and doing everything wrong and everything is in shambles around them. I've watched people judge other people while they kids and they families was in shambles. But you judging the next people because they doing something you don't think is the right way to do it, but it's working for them and they ain't hurting nobody in the process. We have to get past that as a people. We have to. We have to be able to stop getting in our own way. You know what I'm saying? even though I can say 100% certain I would not be in that situation, I don't want to spend no time judging them. I'm trying to look at it from a good point of view. And from what I could tell in this picture, she got 3 daughters and 1 son. That's a lot of a lot of mothers don't realize this, but that is a detrimental situation for most boys. When they in a household with all of that estrogen and no testosterone, no masculine energy to counterweight that, that's bad. Now at least that boy, he got a man in the house with him. He got somebody that could look to. I'm assuming she ain't married no bum. The dude ain't living on the streets. I mean, they had a wedding. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know, man. Like I said, I just wish sometimes that we could look at things from more of a positive point of view and not have to try to use everything to tear folks down with, man. Especially when you don't know what's going on, bro. Like, I mean, back in the days, they used to have what was called arranged marriages. They know back in the day, they still do this in certain places, right? And then you will have this guy come, and because he's of a certain status, and the father say, "Well, yeah, you can have my daughter, and we'll take 4 cows and 2 slivers of silver or whatever." I mean, how is that somehow sitting on a moral high ground, right? But then some guy who was a friend of the family says, "You know what? I'll take on the responsibility of this girl and her 4 kids," and somehow that's beat them down with it. It's just, I don't know, man. In real whole life, sometimes black people, I love y'all, but y'all get on my nerves, man. All y'all be wanting to do is beat people down, bro. Anyway, so I just talked about that for a little minute, and the one guest I was expecting hasn't showed up, but I'm gonna move on and start talking about these topics. So the first topic was the Meek Mill album cover, right? I'm gonna see if I could do this, but so I saw the Meek Mill album cover, and I saw a video where it was on the bus, and it's all type of, it's not it's drawn like a cartoon, but it's like naked girls and booty and all of this. And I seen a reaction video where they said that Meek Mill actually said, the album cover being on a public bus like that and driving through the neighborhood was not really a good thing, and I don't know if he actually apologized for it, but he was kind of talking crazy to the guy that had something to say about his album cover. So I've never done this whole share your screen thing. I'm gonna see if I can do it. Share screen, sharing works, whatever. Let's see, share screen. Okay, share screens coming up like that. Let's see, share, enter screen, window, Chrome tab, entire screen. Let's see, entire screen. Okay, cool. So when I do this, okay, now I see how it look like that. Let's see. So I'm right there. Oh, so basically I didn't have to do that. I could just do this part right here, right? Is what they telling me. But I still want to be able to see it. So that's why I got to do it like that. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen right now with you all because I wanted to be able to pull up this album cover, which is right here. And so you could see it. And you can see it's the naked girl over here with the blonde hair and and the eyebrows super duper arched. Yeah, you can see she get the breast coming out. Now this dude right here, I just realized that this dude got a tear coming down his eye. So I wonder what that's about. Right? Then you got another girl right here. You can see also naked. And you got the girl down here bending over. Lord, look at the pink. The pink thing. Oh my God, they crazy for that. and so yeah, this is the name of it is called Expensive Pain. You know, that's different, man. I don't know. I don't know if y'all was able to see that. I don't know the way that this looks right now, but that's that's something else, man. I definitely think that that's a problem. I don't think that's cool. That album cover. Now, full disclosure or full transparency, when I was a shorty, I probably would have thought it was all to the good, but I'm not a shorty anymore. Um, and I think the reason why he had the response that he had was because the guy who was going off about the album cover was a white guy, and so and he was from Philly. And like he said, man, listen, I'm from Philly. I want to support Meek Mill, but this is crazy. And he's standing next to the bus and the city bus, and the bus has the album cover on it, and it's wrapped. I mean, when I was younger, you had those politicians and aldermen and all of that out there, man. They were protesting against rap music. They was protesting NWA and Ice T and everybody, man, that was doing any type of cussing, anybody that was using the B word, the N word, you know, and being young and rebellious. You like, man, y'all just hating. You know, y'all just don't want to see us do our thing, and you old folks, and get on out of here with that. I don't want to call myself old, but now I'm one of them folks, man, that realizes that this stuff ain't healthy for the kids. This stuff ain't healthy for the youth. It's not healthy for the young people to be exposed to this, man. Uh, I was exposed to pornography at a very young age, to the point where I used to like skip school and sneak to the video stores, right? All the little neighborhood video stores. I don't think Blockbusters did because they was way more family oriented, but all the little neighborhood uh, bookstores and video stores, they would have an adult section, right? And so you would go in and you were looking at stuff and you're like, okay, man, I want to see this. And the adult section is like right here. And the whole time you looking and looking at the people that work there, trying to make your way over there. And then boom, somehow you end up back there. And that's just all these VHS cases of naked women in sexual acts, man. And it was mind blowing, honestly, to see it. You know what I'm saying? You just as a young kid, and it seemed like it was like the same 30 or 40 girls on all these different cases, right? But as a young kid, you just like, man, people doing this, people recording and having sex and all of these different sexual acts. You like, man, that's what they doing. It's like it's blowing your mind. And I mean, take just that, right? And then add in video games and then add in the music where I remember listening to NWA and they had a song called "Don't Matter, Just Don't Bite It," and they talking about how, MC Ren was talking about how he went to the drive-in movies with this one girl, and she didn't want to give up no rhythm, right? And so he was going to the concession stand, and he seen a car with a bunch of guys in there that he knew, and he get to the car, and they all in there tossing up this one chick, right? So he trying to get in so he could get a turn. And then towards the end of the verse, I think he said the girl was 14. I can't say off the top of my head what year this was. Maybe it was 1990. Maybe it was 91. Um, and of course, this is MC Ren as an adult, right? And he's telling the story as if it's his past. So who knows how old he was in the story, really? But you still saying that it was 4 or 5 guys in the car having sex with one girl who just so happened to be 14 years old. Hearing that, and I'm 13 myself, like that wasn't no small thing. Hearing them rap like that, seeing them the VHS tapes and all of the porn, that wasn't no small thing, man. It affected me. And we can say this was during a time when there was more censorship, right? I mean, the only thing they censoring nowadays is talking about the well, I don't want to say it. I ain't getting paid for this yet. Talking about COVID and vaccines. I mean, that's the only thing it seems like they censoring nowadays, or if you say anything about the alphabet people, right? But it's way less censorship now and way more access. I mean, you can literally just get on your phone and Google any type of pornography, any type of adult music, whatever it is you're looking for. If you can think it, you can Google it, and you're probably going to find it. And that's what the youth, our kids have, have access to. So, yeah, Meek Mill, your album cover was a problem, bro. It was, man. Maybe you at a point in your career where you're not paying attention to all the intricate stuff that's going on, the marketing and all this and that. You don't really have nothing to do with it. You're just watching the numbers, but maybe you should have more to do with it, because as you can see, it's all coming back on you. Ain't nobody talking about your marketing team. Ain't nobody talking about the Philly bus company that allowed it to be put on there. Ain't nobody talking about none of them people. They all talking about you. Everybody's holding you accountable. And that's one of the reasons why, like, I still want to do music. I like doing music, but I'll be honest, I'm a battle rapper. Like, my music is braggadocious, pretty much. It's braggadocious, and then sometimes I love your girl music, right? I get my LL Cool J on, right? I get my dark skin LL on, right? But it's like my son was in the car with me one day over the summer, and I'm playing some of my songs, and I'm realizing some of the things that I'm saying in my song, and it's like I didn't even want him to hear it. So I try to play the songs where it's the least amount of cursing, and it's more about me, being in love or relationships, the LL Cool J type songs, right? Then I ended up just playing some of the ones that was way more braggadocious, just because I wanted him to know, like, dude, your dad did this. And he's sitting there like, oh, dad, you got bars. And that felt good, right? He's not necessarily judging me on what I'm saying. And he doesn't seem too influenced by the music. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, my son ain't all the way in like the lifestyle either. He ain't in the hood. He ain't got no hood friends. He ain't gang banging. He ain't drug dealing. He ain't smoking weed. I don't even know if the boy ever had sex yet. But it's a lot of kids that's not that. He out there with a lot of white people. It's a lot more kids that's in a neighborhood where, and also his mama don't really listen to a lot of that music. Right? She's way more into the R&B type stuff. So, but it's a lot more kids that's in the hood that's getting that music played over them all day long. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to affect them. And they know the words. And a lot of times when you're young, you know words and don't even know what you're saying. I mean, I still have that effect now to this day, where I listen to songs and realize I know the words and didn't realize what I was saying. I just knew the words, because you just get enchanted by the beat. And after you hear a song for so many times, I mean, sometimes you don't even know the words, but you know the chords, you could hum along with it because you know where the keys is going to be at and what's going to be said. You know what I'm saying? But for a lot of them, they do. It's a reason why drill music is so popular in Chicago, man. And it ain't just because it sounds good. It's because they can reference it. When they step out of their houses, they can see it. They can see the blocks that these cats is rapping about. They can see the blood on the streets. They can hear the gunshots and the fights and all of that these cats is talking about. They can see it, man. And even if you're not trying to glorify it, even if you're just talking about it. And I'm not one to silence people. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be able to make music. I mean, look, make what you want to make, right? But like I said, there was a Blockbuster video. Blockbuster video didn't have no naked stuff in there. Used to have Family Video. It was a couple of them type of video stores. All they had was movies that came out and went to the theaters, man. And then you had the little nudity stores and then the other little local video stores that had adult sections. And they did their best to try to keep, the adult section. I mean, it wasn't like I would always get away with going in there. I got caught sometimes, right? Because they would do their best to try to keep it out of public view and keep it away from kids, man. Like back in the day, when you heard songs on the radio, they had the dirty versions and the clean versions. And the clean versions always sounded more lamer, but you could appreciate it though. You know what I'm saying? You could appreciate the fact that I can play this song around my mama. And I ain't got to hear her tell me turn that off because it got that cussing in it. Or she don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I really, now looking back, I appreciate the steps that we took to try to censor some of the more adult-like content from our kids, man. And Meek Mill, I'm not really a Meek Mill fan. I mean, seriously, in my music catalog, I might have 2 Meek Mill songs. But at the same time, bro, I just wish you could have reconsidered that album cover, man. It's not a good look. You're supposed to be beyond that at this point. And that's coming from somebody who would probably make the same kind of music that you make. But I probably package it a little bit different, if I could say that, right? So anyway, moving along. The next topic. Should all drugs be legalized? Should all drugs be legalized? So, yes, all drugs should be legalized. You're not going to name one that I'm going to be like, well, no, not that one. I feel like all drugs should be legalized, and I feel that way because I don't think drugs is a reason to lock people up. And I mean using it or selling it. So here's the thinking. If I don't think you should be locked up for using drugs, then obviously you're going to get those drugs from somewhere. So somebody has to be selling them. Everything is for sale. What is there that's not for sale? In this life, in this world, on this continent, we sell people. You can cover it up and say it's adoption all you want to. You can call it adult work all you want to. We sell actual human beings. So, no, I don't think anybody should be getting in trouble for using or selling drugs. And I don't care what the drug is. Now, this can go right back to the music situation. I don't think people should be selling drugs to kids. It should be age limits on stuff, man. I mean, that's when I was younger, I thought that didn't make sense. But now, of course, I'm older, I realize it does. But I will say this. If I can switch subjects for 1 minute, it's not really switching subjects, but just a little caveat. Uh I think it's stupid that you can go to the military at 18 years old. You can murder people on foreign land, but you can't drink. I think that is really stupid. I do. Uh, First of all, I'm almost positive, and I don't know this for sure, but I'm almost positive that your body may be able to handle alcohol better at 18 than it does in your late 20s, in your 30s. I mean, by that time, it'd be killing people. You know what I mean? So, but I just think that's kind of crazy to me. Now, you can at 18, 18, you can buy cigarettes. I wonder. Oh, I want to Google this so bad. I wonder which one kills more people annually, cigarettes or alcohol, right? And then, like right now that I'm thinking about it, you'll probably think alcohol based on the fact that you're gonna have to add in alcohol-related deaths, like car accidents, right? And people that just make mistakes while they're drunk, and it costs them their life, falling out windows or whatever. So not just like all the alcohol gave you cirrhosis of the liver, but just like alcohol related things too. So it's probably going to be alcohol, you know what I'm saying? But if you just go drinking itself versus smoking itself, I'm pretty sure smoking probably kills more people every year than alcohol does, bro. And yeah, at 18, they'll let you smoke cigarettes. Go figure. Uh, I don't know. Some of the things that we do, or the way we look at things, I just don't get it. And like I said, you can join the military and go on foreign land and like become a straight killer at 18. But don't you drink no liquor. I don't know, man. But anyway, back to the subject. So alcohol, not alcohol, but drugs. And off the top, you thinking coke, heroin, crack, weed, uh, ecstasy, if they still doing that, Molly, all these different drugs like that. Um, I've never done any other drug besides weed. That's the only drug I've done. That's the only drug I've partaken in, intentionally anyway. And I've seen the results of some of those drugs. But you know what? Alcohol is bad, man. Cigarettes is bad, man. I mean, I've slowed down I've low down on drinking. And I usually don't even drink when I'm in the house, go figure. Because I find myself speeding, like I'm leaving from somewhere going home, and it would feel like I'm sitting in the passenger seat watching myself do 110 miles per hour. I'm really speeding. The alcohol, for some reason, makes you want to speed. To be honest with you, weed did too. And I think part of that is the anxiety of even being out there drunk and getting caught. So you're trying to speed because you want to hurry up and get to where you're going. You want to hurry up and get home, right? And get off the street. Problem is, you're doing 110 on the expressway and you intoxicated. So if you do get pulled over, it's just going to be way worse for you. You see what I'm saying? So I really start pacing myself when I be out and drinking and stuff and making sure I'm not too drunk. Stop, grab some food. You know, Maxwell Streets is always open. Stop, grab me some food. You know what I'm saying? Try to dilute the high, so to speak, or whatever you call the intoxication. And then try to use cruise control. You know what I'm saying? So I could stay within a certain speed limit and get to where I'm trying to get to where I'm going safely, man. And that's off alcohol that you can go. I can go right now and buy as many bottles as I want. I can go to the liquor store and say, give me all of the 1738 you got, and they're gonna give it to me. And they're not gonna care if I'm about to sit back and try to drink every bottle to the face right now until it kills me. They're gonna sell me that liquor, right? So yeah, crack, cocaine, heroin, Molly, ecstasy, all of that stuff. None of this stuff is good for you. None of it. You know what I'm saying? And they waited until they were able to popularize marijuana to a point and then be able to seize an area where they could control the crops, right? Because the marijuana coming from Mexico, well, they couldn't seize that. They couldn't control that. But then they found a place where they could control it. And now all of a sudden, yeah, well, weed ain't that bad. And it does have its medicinal purposes. And yeah, y'all can start smoking it. It's all good. Right? So yeah, I know all of those other drugs, they don't have the best effects on you, but none of them do, man. Like people smoke weed, but they don't acknowledge that you're still smoking. It's still smoke. I don't care what you want to say. It ain't nicotine or whatever. It's still smoke. You're putting smoke into your body, into your lungs. That's not good, as far as I know, right? And so, I mean, they all have negative effects and they all are addictive. I know people that had great financial opportunities and they couldn't cash in on those opportunities because they couldn't quit smoking. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I do think all drugs should be legalized. And I also think that I'm about to lose power. So, I'm going to have to do a Corey Holcomb and take a quick break right quick so I can make sure I don't lose power. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on some music for you all to enjoy. And I'll be right back.
So if you're focused on something, then you can take things into your own control. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not easy. Expect pain, expect anxiety, expect everything to go wrong, and just be cool. Breathe easy, and then just see it out. It's never going to happen the way you want it to happen, ever. And if it does, do not trust it. It's the devil.
Oh, my mic was muted. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so basically where we were at was I do believe that all drugs should be legalized, right? And so I think I kind of went through that already. Just like I said, man, I just don't think people should be punished for using drugs. And if you're gonna be able to use them, then somebody's gonna sell them, right? So um, you can't punish people for selling them either. I just think that should be like left alone at this point. I know, man, I've seen so many people just freely smoking weed at the lake this summer, man. It was like the craziest thing. I think it's already been like that in California for a little minute, but it was just the craziest thing. Like even drinking though. I ain't see people had a few years back, I used to be up at the lake. Hey, I don't care if it was a beer. It could be a beer. If you was drinking your beer and the police came rolling through that parking lot, we was tucking them beers. Well, I ain't drink beer. I always drink alcohol, but we was tucking them bottles behind tires and under cars, and police ride by. You know what I'm saying? Acting like we having conversations. Man, all summer long, I seen people, police riding by, turning up their bottles, chucking the deuce to the cops. Like, I mean, man, it was something to see this summer. Man, dice games, just people just shooting, police watching. Like they just created this whole new mandate where, like, man, just leave people alone. If they ain't like fighting and shooting and stopping the party, basically, you know what I'm saying? Hey, keep the party going. You know what I'm saying? Keep the party going. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to be honest, it was a beautiful thing to see. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing about the lake. Like the police, some police officers that used to be up there that hooped with us. You know what I'm saying? So uh one of them niggas we hooped with was the feds. And I mean they never bothered us. They let us smoke our weed. This was before it was legal. They let us smoke our weed and everything. But when it came to them bottles though, we used to have the bottles though when other police came around. Definitely wasn't just smoking when the other police, like the blue and whites and stuff, came around. But it was something to see, man. And although I wouldn't want people just hanging out at the park smoking crack, I'm not saying that. I would want people hanging out at the park just shooting up with needles, and you know what I'm saying? Like maybe it should be some sort of standard, right? These type of drugs are permitted outside, and these type of drugs are permitted in your household only. You know what I'm saying? Indoor drugs and outdoor drugs, right? Like I don't know, but I just feel like, or I think really don't feel like I think that people shouldn't be hassled about drugs, man. I mean, I watched a documentary on how drugs became illegal in the first place, and in this documentary, they was talking about how they made cocaine illegal, and they used it to lock up black people, right? Because they were saying, oh man, these black people, and they use this cocaine, they become super strong and become Lord, don't let me be saying this word wrong. Impenetrable, right? From bullets. Like, oh, the bullets won't even affect them when they on their cocaine. So they used that to make cocaine illegal. 1 second. Then they used marijuana, which they were referring to as hemp at the time, to incarcerate Mexicans. And they used, what is the other one? It's called something else before it's opioid, right? AKA heroin. They used that to incarcerate the Chinese people, right? And this was the thing about it. According to this documentary, they weren't necessarily doing this because those people were the race that they were. It wasn't because they were Mexicans or because they were black or because they were Asian. But what it was about was because these particular demographics were associated with those particular drugs. So the Asians were associated with the opioids. The blacks were associated with the cocaine. The Mexicans, Latinos, Hispanics, whatever you want to say, were associated with the hemp or the marijuana. You see what I'm saying? And what they were trying to do was alleviate the competition for work. That's what it was all about. They were just trying to alleviate the competition for work purposes. because this is Reconstruction period, right? This is end of slavery, and people are free and working, right? And so all of this time, Black people had been doing all of the labor, and Asians had been doing all of the labor, and Mexicans had been doing all of the labor, and you had some whites that had been doing the labor, but it was nowhere near. Their numbers were nowhere near what the other races were, especially combined. So they had to thin the herd, so to speak, right? If it's less of these people, then there's less of them for us to have to compete with for these jobs that we feel like should be ours anyway because we're the white man. And so they got with the politicians, and I mean, they've been using this political thing to make life harder for people since they started this place, okay? So, but they got with the politicians and they came up with all these different laws and stuff. And like I say, we're not locking them up because they're Black. We're not locking them up because they're Asian. We're not locking them up because they're Hispanic. We're locking them up because they're associated with these drugs, and we're outlawing the drugs. It's a cold game, man. It's a cold game. And also in this documentary, they stated back in the days when people had addictions to these drugs, they treated it like that. They didn't treat them like criminals. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I say, yes, I believe that all drugs should be legalized. And if people have an issue with the drug, then they should be treated like people with addictions and people with problems and health issues, and not criminals. So there's that part. This next topic, I'm not even sure I want to talk about this topic alone. Is religion doing more harm than good to the Black family? Is religion doing more harm than good to the Black family? This is, okay, let me not overstate it. It's not a hard topic to talk about, but it's one of those topics where you want to be careful what you say because you don't want to sound biased, right? So I remember when I was in college, I took philosophy of religion, and it was me. There was this guy named Chris. He was like a what I would call a super Christian. This dude, man, we would stand outside, me, Chris, and the other cat. I can't remember his name, and I'm mad that I'm blanking on his name because I always wanted to remember their names. But I think I remember Chris because I got a brother named Chris. So Chris was a super Christian. The other guy that used to be out there with us, he was an atheist. Period. And he stood on it. The same way how Chris stood on being a Christian. And here I am, this agnostic cat, right? I don't know what to believe, right? I was raised in the church, but as I got older, I've seen too much. I don't know what to believe, right? And we would stand out there, man, after class sometimes for an hour, sometimes longer. And this was winter Chicago. We talking Harold Washington, downtown, under the train, snowing. So it's cold. But the conversations kept us warm, man. I promise they did. We would be out there. Yeah, man, I see what you're saying, but you got to understand, right? And everybody's getting their point across. Nobody's getting loud. Nobody's angry. No ad hominems. No disrespect. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and this was the thing that really made me respect Chris, because he didn't waver on his faith. He believed what he believed. But when he didn't know something, he didn't make up stuff, right? He didn't say stuff in the Bible that wasn't actually there. He just said what he believed. And then when it wasn't something that he couldn't prove, or it was something that wasn't there in the Bible, it was a question that was being asked that he didn't have an answer for, he would just say that. Simply just say that. Brother, I don't even know. But I have faith that whatever. But I just try to have faith that whatever. And I don't have to know everything, and everything ain't meant for me to know, and blah, 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 blah. But it was never, man, come on, man, and like try to make it seem like you stupid because you don't know, or you something wrong with you because you don't believe. He would just be like, man, I don't know. Every now and then he would have some good questions of his own. And it was nothing for me to say, I don't know. The whole principle of agnostic is acknowledging that you don't know, right? And for some people, they take it a step further and say, I don't know and I don't care. I don't want to know. Do I think it's a God? Maybe I make room for the possibility that it is, but I don't know. I don't have any real evidence to suggest that it is, and I don't care. I don't want to move through life worrying about whether or not it is God, because obviously this person ain't worrying about me. My life is whatever I make it. That's what everybody keep telling me. So then you got this guy who's an atheist, and he's like, man, ain't no God. I'm trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? And hey, woo, But I ain't trying to hear that, because he would listen. Like I said, we would sit up there and talk for an hour, man, after class. We didn't have to do that. We was doing this every class, bro. But it was like the conversations was always good. It would be more and more questions. But our Professor Allen, was the bomb. You know what I'm saying? I had him for a couple of classes. I took him in ethics too. And so, but the questions coming from both sides for me really was like inspiring. You know what I'm saying? Whether you wanted to be agnostic, atheist, or a believer, it didn't make a difference. The one thing I realized in that class, and particularly after class, having that conversation with them three brothers and the other people who would gather around with us and stop in and, make some comments and leave. And, it would start out just us three and end up with 10 people and then end up back to us three. The one thing that I realized is that it's possible to have conversations. It's possible to have different thoughts, to have different beliefs, and still have conversations and still be able to get along. You don't have to hate each other. You don't have to be bitter. You don't have to be upset because this person don't think like you or believe like you, particularly when their choices aren't affecting you, right? And so, those were some of the best conversations I've ever had in my life. Standing out there talking to an atheist and a Christian as an agnostic. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, those conversations really motivated me to be able to have conversations with people and it not have to be angry and bitter and mad and upset and all of that other stuff, bro. Just, but I do think that, man, religion is doing some harm to our community. I gotta say that. It does good and it does bad. And on this plane of existence, it really doesn't have a choice but to be that way, because everything is that way. Everything is good and bad. There's not one thing that you can look at as it's all good. Even in the Bible, God says, the Lord, create the good and the bad, right? See, I really be wanting to have real conversations about religion. But what I don't want is for people to interpret. I hate that. That's where the confusion comes in at. That's what messes up the conversations, is interpretations. That's what does it. If people would just take what's there, what's right in front of them, and leave it at that, I think more conversations would go smoother. but it's the interpretation of everything. Well, the Bible said this, so it gotta mean that. No, it said this. Let it just be that, right? For instance, one of the only things that I really can remember from the Bible at this point, right, is the story of Adam and Eve. And so I had a debate not too long ago with a guy because he was saying that God punished Adam first. And I was like, well, no, he didn't. And he was like, man, well, if you read the story, when Eve ate the apple and then she gave the apple to Adam, see, God didn't even come and say nothing at first. He didn't come and say nothing until after Adam ate the apple. I'm like, okay, right? It's like, yeah, and then he came looking for Adam. He came right to Adam. I'm like, yeah, okay, if that's how you want to put it. Now, what he's saying, it's not that it's false, right? But it's the projection that he's trying to make it, because the Bible says that once Adam and Eve partook of the fruit, right, they both became aware and they started trying to hide themselves, right? And then it said that they heard the voice of God and that they was trying to hide themselves. But it didn't say what God was saying at first. It just said that they heard the voice of God. God could have been saying doody 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 do for all we know. He could have been skipping along. But then the Bible says that God said, Adam, where are y'all? And Adam was like, man, we hide. And God was like, well, what you hiding for? And Adam was like, man, because we naked. Now, right here, this is God. He is all knowing according to everybody's beliefs, right? Why would he be asking Adam these questions if he already knew? Why would he be saying, Adam, where you at, man? This is God. He knows everything. He can see everything. So where could Adam possibly have really hidden where God wouldn't know where he was at? Right? So this is where me and the guy kind of lose each other, because he's saying it as if Adam ate the apple and so now God is coming. And I'm saying, nah, I don't believe that. God is omniscient. This means all-knowing. When I was young, they used to always tell me God knew when you was going to be born. He knew everything you was going to do while you was alive, and he knows when you're going to die. He knows everything. It's all a part of his plan. That's what they used to say, right? So that means when God created Adam and Eve, he already knew that they were going to partake in the fruit, even after he told them not to. That means even when he created Satan, he knew Satan was going to try to overthrow heaven. That means he knew all of that, right? So that also would mean that Satan, Adam, and Eve were simply following God's plan. They really didn't even have a choice. This was what was going to happen. Or God, being omnipotent, meaning all powerful, could have created them not to do this, but he didn't, right? But now watch this. So after Adam tells God, man, we naked, God said, bro, how you know you naked, bro? You ate that fruit I told you not to eat, didn't you? And the first thing Adam said was, man, old girl you had brung down here to me, man, she gave it to me, bro, right? So it's the first thing Adam do. He like, man, she gave it to me. You know what I'm saying? So God was like, Eve, what you on, man? How you gonna play my boy like that? So Eve was like, man, the snake told me it was all right for me to eat it, bro. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, this is what God did. The first thing he did was he punished the snake, the serpent. The second thing he did was he punished Eve, right? You're going to have pain during pregnancy and all this other stuff. Then he punished Adam. Now, let's go back. If my man is saying sin didn't even exist until after Adam ate the apple, and God only came because Adam ate the apple, then why wasn't Adam the first one God punished? Why did he punish the serpent first, and then punish Eve first, and then punish Adam, right? And then this is where people get into ad hominems, and they get into, oh, you just want to argue because you're not accepting their point of view, right? That is the harm that religion does. That is it. People get way off into interpretations. I just look at what's there. This is what happened. This is what it says happened. I ain't trying to put nothing else into it. I ain't trying to pick nothing else up out of it. Whatever I'm reading and looking at. This was there, that's what I'm taking. Right? But people get so caught up in their own interpretations. They have created their own religion, pretty much. You got people saying, don't know words in the Bible matter but the red words. If it ain't in the red words, it don't really matter. Why? Because all of the hold you accountable stuff is really in the Old Testament, right? And it's some in the New Testament too, but all of the I forgive you and you will be all right and you got my blessings and look, they do what you want to do. Just say my name and a couple of Hail Marys, donate some money and you will be all right. All of that's what's in the red words, right? But then all of the other ones is, hey, don't put on makeup, don't put the weave in your hair, don't put no tattoos on your body, don't get drunk, don't fornicate, don't commit adultery, don't commit murder. It's all of the stuff that people do on a daily basis that's in the other text. So that's why they want to say, well, I'm a Christian because I'm following Christ. So therefore, the other texts don't matter. The only one that matters is Matthew and Mark and John, the red letters, right? You got those type of Christians. Or those type of religious people. I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes sense to say it's a Christian because you're saying that you're just following Christ, right? But I mean, but then this is what's funny to me is that people will still use those same other scriptures that they say don't matter to beat other folks down with. This is another problem with religion. That we would take a scripture and the scripture could say, don't eat, don't get tattoos, right? Don't put markings on your body. So I see you and you got those tattoos, and I'm telling you, man, bro, you shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't got them tattoos on your body. The Bible say don't get the tattoos on your body. Whole time I'm sleeping with my neighbor's wife. Bible say don't do that either. So why are you wasting any time worrying about what the Bible said don't do for somebody else when you doing things that the Bible say don't do either? And this is they comeback. Man put that in there. You can bet on it. Man put that in there. If it ain't man put that in there, y'all know what it is. God know my heart. Man put that in there, and God know my heart are the two greatest excuses when people don't want to acknowledge that they ain't living the shit they preaching. They beating everybody else down with the word, but then they ain't following it themselves. Right? So I mean, the Bible tells you not to adorn yourself with jewelry and stuff, makeup and all of that. Uh, the Bible says when your woman is on your period, on her period, you ain't even supposed to be around her. Leave her. That's in the Bible. How many people really want that? How many people really want their husbands, boyfriends, whatever, to be like, oh, you're in the pit? All right, I'll see you in 5 days. Come on, man. No, nobody, you know what I'm saying? This is a problem. This is why it's so many different denominations, man. Because people are picking and choosing what they want to abide by. And here's the thing. That's not even the big problem, picking and choosing what you want to abide by, because everybody does that. Whether it's religion, whether it's laws, whatever, principles, beliefs. The problem is, like I said, when we still choose to beat other folks down for what they ain't picking and choosing. When we ain't picking and choosing everything either. This is why I can't even rock with religion no more. It was one of my homies that I was kind of hoping was going to be on the show tonight so that me and him can have this conversation. Because I just found out that this dude go to church every week. And it blew my mind. I didn't think, I thought he would have been past that. But apparently he goes to church every week. And I want to talk to him about that and see where his head was at. You know, I mean, I can't believe that it's the way it was when we was younger, right? And it was the Bible, you know, the Holy Bible, and your mama or your grandmama had that Bible that was like this big, you know what I'm saying? And it sat on the table or whatever and was always open to Psalms 23, you know what I'm saying? And it was like this shiny thing in the middle of the living room or the house or whatever that was like always there watching over you, you know what I'm saying? And or the picture of Christ on the wall. Or, I mean, at our age, knowing what we know, all the experiences that we have in life, that I find it odd that anybody could be like, see, and that's why I said I want to be careful how I say it, because I don't want to come off disrespectful or biased. But just like the dogma of religion, really, like, you can't believe there's actually a hell or a heaven. I mean, it's all God's plan. The Bible says, this is God. And the Bible says, I create the good and the evil. So you can't believe that God is creating the bad to punish it. That don't make sense. And even if that is true, why would I want to rock with a God like that? I wouldn't. I'm going to have kids just so I can punish them. I'm going to create something just so I can punish it. I'm going to create it to do the very thing I'm going to punish it for doing. That doesn't make sense. So that's why I wanted to have this conversation with, because I want to be like, well, it has to be more spiritual now, right? It has to be more of a situation where you just, you know, you have a spiritual connection to God, and you know, you can still believe in the Trinity, you know, and the music and the uplifting words and all of that, and the vibration and energy that you get. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I missed that a little bit. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I missed the vibration that I got from church when I was younger. Everywhere I lived, I had a church home. I've been baptized like 3-4 times, 3-4 different churches. Even when I lived in Atlanta, it was a church I used to go to. But I do kind of miss that. I miss the concerts. Oh man, the concerts that we used to have. You know what I'm saying? But even like the music nowadays don't feel the same to me. It really hasn't been the same since what's your boy name? Donnie McClurkin. We fall down and we get up. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my joint right there. That's one of them songs like I could put on and sing along with it, and I'm gonna feel better. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's been a couple of more joints that I just can't think off the top of my head since then, but it's not. If it's probably like maybe 6 or 7 of them. It ain't like how it was when I was young. And on Sundays, WGCI used to play all of the songs, and I mean, man, you would just be sitting there going back and forth through all of them. I'm so glad trouble don't last always. You know what I'm saying? And then it go from that to can't you see the clouds gathering? I mean, I ain't gonna lie. And I still listen to those songs. It's like I don't listen to the songs. I still like the songs. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's about the music now. It's not about some connection to some white deity and all of that, man. Again, like I said, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or any of that, bro. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Once you take in so much information, once you learn when the Bible was written and who wrote it, and I mean, it's like some things you just can't unlearn. You know what I'm saying? Once you know it, and it's just there. And there's no way I'm going to be able to have the same feeling about this as I used to when I was a kid. Because, and I feel this way about any book, really, right? If you read any book from cover to cover, you're going to be changed in some kind of way. It's going to affect you. There's no way around it. Man, I used to didn't have a hesitation in admitting this, but I'm gonna be honest, I do right now. The last book that I read, cover to cover, was Waiting to Exhale. Whatever. Laugh all y'all want to, judge me all y'all want to. Yes, the last book that I read cover to cover was Waiting to Exhale, and that was like 90, whatever it was. And I remember, man, at this time I was in this like shelter program for young adults and men. And man, I just sit up every day and just read it, man. One of my cousins told me about it, and I think she was trying to get me to see things from women's point of view. And so it's safe to say I was reading that book. I ain't gonna say I didn't see things from women's point of view, but that wasn't the greatest takeaway. I just remember when it came to the end of the book, I remember being sad because it was over with. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't gonna be no more stories. I wasn't gonna get to hear anything or know anything else about them. And I was actually sad about that. You know what I'm saying? And but outside of just seeing things from women's point of view, because I'm a man, I still saw things from a male's point of view, but I was way more sensitive towards women, way more forgiving. And that probably wasn't even the best thing for me because I ended up staying in relationships way longer than I should have. But that's why I said, I can't remember who it was. I think it was one of my cousins told me, man, just start reading the Bible, man. They got it set up where you can read it in a year and you can read it from here from beginning to end. And I was like, nah, I'm cool. I'm straight. I don't want nothing to change me that much. I don't want nothing to play with my mind that much. It's hard enough dealing with all of the mysticism and all of that stuff now. You know what I'm saying? But I will say Look, if you tell me you believe that it was a dude that chilled in a well for 3 or 4 days or however long, I believe the cat's name was Jonah. Like, if you tell me you believe that, then I feel like we all have some sort of mental illness, right? But I feel like you really, something is wrong with you. Forget mental illness. That ain't it, because we all got those. I feel like if you believe that, then let me take you and put you in a whale's mouth and let's see if you survive for 3 or 4 days. I remember one time I said that to my stepdad because he one of those super Christians too that wake up at 5 in the morning and go read the Bible. And I was like, so you really believe all of the dogma in the Bible, right? You believe that the cat Jonah was just chilling in a whale's mouth, just beatboxing and shooting dice with himself for 3 or 4 days. And he like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, well, look, we're going to take a trip to Florida, man. It's a place down there I know where they keep whales at. And I'm going to put you in the whale's mouth and let you chill in there for a few days. You ain't put me in no whale's mouth. Right? And that's my whole thing. Of course not. You have all of this faith in God. You believe God can do everything in the world and he's all powerful and all this and that. But you ain't going to let me put you in the whale's mouth because you know that ain't happening. God would not be less powerful today than he was then. If anything, he'd be more powerful. So therefore, my whole thing is you don't have to believe that to believe in God. You don't have to believe anything of that. The concept of God was created before the story of Noah was ever thought of, or not Noah, Jonah. And Noah too. The concept of God has been around much longer than any of those stories. So you don't have to believe these idiotic stories in order for you to have faith, a spiritual connection, whatever. There are principles in the Bible that are wonderful to live by. Psalms and Proverbs and First Corinthians. Man, listen, it is some great wisdom there, but it ain't perfect. It's not. And the same way how people pick and choose what to believe and all of that, you got to stop beating people up with the stuff that they not adhering to when you not adhering to everything either. So the question was, and I'm going to read it exactly, is religion doing more harm than good to the Black family? It's hard for me to answer that question, to just boldly say yes. I know people who are what I would consider religious, right? These are people that go to church and, maybe read their Bible and pay tithes and stuff like that. And genuinely, they're good people. And I don't pretend like their faith has nothing to do with that because I know that it does. But some of the most dangerous people I knew believed in God. I mean, I'm trying not to call nobody out, but you know what we do as a people. You know how we drink. You know how we do drugs. You know how we whoremonger. You know how we speak to each other, to our kids. Y'all know what we do. Y'all see how we are, half naked on everything, promoting the worst parts of the culture. and do all of those things with Jesus pieces on and giving thanks to God. And I mean, we could talk about Illuminati and all this other stuff, but at the end of the day, most of these cats came up in the church. They really do believe that there's a God. Most of these cats really do think it was a person named Jesus that lived, and it does not stop them from partaking in the evils that they do. It's one other thing. I feel like religion prevents people from standing up more, right? I feel like if without religion, more people would fight. More people would stand up for each other. We as a people, I think we would stand up more for each other. But it is complicated, right? Because I remember when I was younger and I first started learning about Malcolm X, it was a no-brainer for me. First of all, we share the same birthday. But then I see this guy, and it wasn't just the fact that he taking a picture holding a rifle. Because I always wondered about that picture. Like, why is there a picture of you holding a rifle? But it wasn't just the fact that he was holding guns, it was the way that he talked. It was the fact that he said things like, man, y'all touch us, we touching y'all back. We not taking it. That moved me. I wanted to be that type of person. And then I began to look at Martin Luther King, who I had once idolized, as a sucker. Because you walking around letting people hit on you. And I did that for the first 15 years of my life and felt like the biggest punk chump coward because of it. So once I learned about Malcolm X, which was in the 7th grade, wasn't no going back. There was no way I wanted to continue to be the Martin Luther King, the turn the other cheek, to take the abuse cat. I just didn't want to do it no more. But in my 30s, I realized Martin Luther King did have a point when he would say that violence only begets violence. Because I seen gang situations where these cats been shooting at each other for 15 years. These cats from this block and these cats from this block. And it's not even, it's new cats. So it's not even like all of these the same people. It might be a couple of cats that's surviving through this, but it's constantly new people involved in this same old beef. And then I just started realizing that, okay, you hit me, I hit you. You know, and some more of your people jump in, and some more of my people jump in. And not to mention the fact that going against the dominant society, we can't win. They have all of the leverage when it comes to that. They have all of the weapons. They have all of the resources. So we can't really win the battle against them with violence. And I started seeing it that way. And I think in the end, Malcolm started seeing it that way. Which is why he started aligning himself with different people, regardless to their backgrounds. But still in all, on an individual level, yeah, if it's me and you, mano y mano, you're going to get this smoke. I'm still not turning the other cheek. but I'm also not seeking to kick off or incite a war that I know my people can't win. So that's why I said it's kind of complicated, right? But I do still think there is some people that are weak and hide behind the religion, man. Jesus coming back type talk. You know, I don't gotta fight the battle here. But the Holy Spirit and Jesus and God is fighting the battle for me and this and that. I mean, these same people get up and go to work every day. So it's like, stop it. If you thought that there was some mystical power that was going to answer all your questions and solve all your problems, you just sit back and wait for everything to fall out of the sky. But you don't. You get up and you go work for what you want. And that same thing has to be, that same mentality has to be applied to freedom and liberty. They ain't gonna just hand it to you. You know how many generations of Black people have been expecting the return of Jesus? My grandmama died thinking that God was gonna come back in her lifetime. Her mama died thinking that Jesus was gonna come back in her lifetime. I'm pretty sure her mama died thinking that Jesus was gonna come back in her lifetime. My mama probably still sitting around here thinking Jesus is gonna come back in her lifetime. I myself don't believe that. And I think that affects people's choices in life sometimes, man. I think as a people, we've taken more and been delayed certain freedoms and gratifications and successes based on our willingness to sit back and wait. And it's only been the times when we've been like, you know what, man, ain't nobody, and then they be like, all right. What y'all wanted? All right, and take this little something, and be relaxed. And then we go relax for another 40 years and go through a whole bunch of the same houses. And then as soon as we're like, you know what, we ain't go, all right, look, take these little crumbs and y'all want to vote here, man. Y'all can vote. Look, man, y'all want to go to school here, man. Y'all want to go to school. You know? Nah, I don't know, man. It's like something inside of me wants to say yes. It does more harm than good. But I can't actually say that that's true. So I don't want to say it. I feel like emotionally, I can't stand on that. I can't stand on it. I can't be like, without a doubt, 100%, no question, this is true. But I will say this. It ain't far from 50-50. It might be 51-49. Either way. Whether it does more harm or whether it does more good, it's probably 51-49. Either way. Based on my observations over the years, man. So that's that part. I think I got through that without being, distasteful or disrespectful. So I'm proud of myself. Okay. It was 2 more questions. This has already been 2 hours. I was by myself for this episode. So I think I'm going to save these questions right here until I have guests again. So I'm not even going to speak them out loud. But I am going to say that I'm trying to put together another show. I'm going to keep this one going. And I want to put together another show, or actually, I want to put together 2 other shows. I would say 3, but the third one I'm not so sure about, right? So the first show that I want to put together is for all women, um, where the women come on and they talk about like real stuff, childhood, molestations, rape, relationships, feelings, expectations, problems with men, problems with uh, upbringing, like really get into it. And I want to do another show where it's just men. And men, same thing, upbringing, fatherhood, expectations, relationships, uh, 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 finances, investing, like, and what are men thinking about this, and what should our expectations be, and what should our expectations be for our sons and our daughters? Like, I want to have 2 different panels, and now I'm not talking about something that's done weekly. I'm talking about something that's done like maybe once a month, where we have an all women's panel and we have an all men's panel once a month, and we talk about specific topics. Um, I was thinking about doing those on Thursdays. So I was supposed to have been doing one this Thursday, but my work schedule might impede me being able to do that. So um, if I can do it, it'll get done. If not, and I'll try to figure something else out. But we're still on for the Seen Yo Lil Podcast Tuesdays. Right now, I've been starting at 7. Because of work, I might have to push back to 8. Uh, but we definitely gonna still keep it going. I'm still learning the program. Uh, Trying to figure out if I want to stick with it or go over to Zoom. The presentation that I see from people who use Zoom is nice, but I've seen other presentations with StreamYard that are just as good. So, I might stick with this one. I'm just trying to figure out if I'm going to be able to use it the way I want to. Now that I used it from a computer, it definitely seems to operate better than it did from on my phone. But real quick, I want to send a shout out to my, I guess you can call him my stepbrother, Sam. This is my father's ex-wife's son. My father's ex-wife was also the mother of my little brother, Rarel, who passed away in May. It was something different burying your youngest brother, man. It don't feel right. It's like that's not how it's supposed to go, And I already didn't talk to Sam that much. But he's the only child now. He lost his only brother. And so I just want to say real quick, bro, like if you watch this, I'm here, bro. I ain't gonna front. I'm not really reaching out to a whole bunch of people at this juncture in my life. My phone barely ring, and therefore I don't really ring a lot of people's phones, man. But I'm here. Like, if you want to kick it, hang out, whatever, bro. Because I know it's just tough for you. That was my youngest brother, but he was your only brother. And so we out here, man. Just holler at me. you can holler at Big Bro. Just don't. You don't have to be alone. Is what I'm really trying to say, bro. All right. So it was on my mind. I just wanted to get that out there. Yeah, so we'll be back next Tuesday. Hopefully, I can get my man Bang back on the show next Tuesday, so we could really chop it up on this religion topic. I really want to do that. And then I'm gonna bring them other 2 questions back next week too. That'll be good. Because believe it or not, it ain't the easiest thing trying to come up with these questions every week, man. And especially because I be trying to make sure the questions ain't offensive. Like I don't want to just want to come out like, hey man, what do y'all think about girls with plastic booties? Like I really be trying to come up with questions that are meaningful, that we can, once we dive into them, we can have sincere conversations about them, and it'll mean something to somebody that watches it back. So anybody that has any topic ideas that you would like to see on the program, please feel free to write it in the comments, send it to me in the inbox, in the DM, whatever, man. Let me know. If you're watching this on YouTube, which I know you are, because that's the only place I'm going to have it, except for Facebook, but it's going to be on Facebook, courtesy of YouTube. Please like the channel. Please subscribe to the channel, man. And that's my brother trying to see if I'm going to come perform Thursday. I said I was. I don't know no more, but I don't know. I ain't gonna be like that. I said I was gonna do it, so I don't know. We might be posting a video of your boy performing this week. That might be coming to the channel, so stay tuned, man. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and holler at my bro, and let's just say peace to everybody, man. We out of here.
I should have to be nice to get somebody to give me something. If my product is good, no matter how I act, you will pay for it.